Let's talk about the corruption because the rich are finna get richer and we's finna get poorer. Let's go. Because the United States runs the way it does politically, like the way our structure is politically, we don't have the ability to foresee things that are happening in 10 to 20 years. Like, we don't have the ability to be strategic about our country's progress, if that makes sense. Versus a place like Russia or versus a place like Saudi, because their institution is generational. Either it's hierarchical or they pick a successor and that person trains under their leader at the moment, right? And because our government runs on terms and cycles, we are susceptible to corruption in a different vulnerable way. And because of that secular change, our presidency is unable to see beyond 4 years and think strategically beyond 4 years. Our political structure in America does not promote progress because of how everything is on like a 4 year term. And there's two parties and it's super polarized. So when one person does this, the other person tries to do everything else behind it and then, back it up. So we don't really progress that well. And that's why our foreign policy is always so iffy, because every 4 years, somebody can and will be bought. Just think about it in a way of new management comes in and they can renegotiate. They can change how the structure works, the process works. And that's kind of what happened. So let's talk about it. So we have Obama. He creates the Iranian deal. He spends years negotiating, creating this diplomatic framework, right? And this is going to be a long-term goal. This is a strategic long-term goal for the U.S., for American progress. So homeboy gets in office, right? His son-in-law is straight on the plane to Saudi Arabia, right? I remember little talks on the media of Trump's financial issues, right? And taxes not being paid, correct? Well, that kind of ceases to exist after that flight to Saudi Arabia, because an investment was made and a promise was kept. The Iranian deal was ripped up the following year after that flight. Well, after multiple flights. His son-in-law has no foreign policy experience. He is not a government official. He's a real estate broker, I think. He has no global trade experience, no global compliance, no global law, nothing. He is making deals with Saudi whilst his father-in-law is in the presidency. Once they leave office, he immediately receives a $2 billion payment to his investment fund. And best believe, everybody, that was a down payment to the access to the son-in-law to the president. But the thing is, Kushner built his business model around the demise of Iran. He says that he will bring peace and prosperity to Iran, to the Gulf states. And the Gulf states believe him because the Gulf states don't like Iran. To them, Iran is a nosy, rowdy neighbor that will not stop and will not stop through proxies, through all of those international violence to just ruin the foundations and infrastructure of Gulf state. So that's his business model, bringing peace and prosperity. He needs Iran out of the picture to make money. So when lobbying for the war happens, it succeeds because someone's son-in-law got paid to do this. Like, that was his goal. Like, that $2 million, they got their $2 million back because we done spent 11. We done spent 11 bombing this neighbor that they hate, and they only done gave, they stupid. Not only that, for him to be successful, he needs to get rid of them. Because they ripped up the deal. If they never ripped up the deal, they would have been fine. Like, I'm pretty sure it would have been cool. Now, how are you footing this bill, you may ask? Here we go. What is inflation? Inflation is my dollar buys less, okay? You have $5. That $5 got you this water bottle. This water bottle is now $10. You worked the same amount of hours and got paid the same amount. Your wage did not move to account for this water bottle now costing you $10. So the world may double in price, your wages should too. But because they won't, you won't be making extra money. You'll get poorer. So the inflation right now is for oil, right? And gas. Usually it's a government tax that gets passed over onto the consumer from the corporation. But right now it's oil. And because of what's going on in the Middle East, they're able to raise the price of oil. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I've noticed all corporations run like a cartel with good lawyers. Because you need gas and oil for every freaking thing in this world, god damn it. Ships, fertilizer, god damn it. Your grocery prices are gonna go up, obviously. Your gas prices are already up. Flight prices, everything's going to be more expensive. Anything that ships to a market, gets put on a ship, gets put on a truck, is going to cost more money. We can even talk about how the billionaire oil tycoon was in the White House when they were talking about what they were going to do for Venezuela. He bought that. He paid for access. He paid for the donor dinner at Mar-a-Lago. And because oil companies raise their prices together, you have nowhere else to go. So they price gouge you, in my opinion. And Exxon and Chevron, they've just hit all-time highs this week. I'll tell you that.